Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
At that moment, Bradley overheard the girls' conversation and sauntered over in envy. "You girls attended a banquet together? Why didn't you bring me along?" Nicole rolled her eyes at him. "You're a man and you want to be someone guy's partner? Bradley, could you be bothered to take an initiative?" Lulu told him off, unable to stand him anymore. June also seemed annoyed. Hearing this, Bradley nodded. "That's right, I don't take initiatives. But it'll be great too if I get to be Nicole's plus one. In your dreams." The both of them stared at him in unison. However, Bradley was still smiling foolishly. At that point, Bradley realized that Gary's desk was empty, while Wayne and Jack were still phoning him. Unable to help it, he softly asked, "Gary is rarely absent from school. The new semester has just started, and he's skipping classes without applying for leave already." "Yeah, could he be facing an emergency?" At that moment, Lulu instantly thought of something she had known and said, "I'm not sure, but this morning, I got word from the warden that the surveillance cameras were not functioning yesterday. The Finley family is also in charge of the school's security system. Perhaps Gary was also busy with that." When Nicole heard that, she turned her gaze toward Gary's desk once more. She knew that the computers and accessories in school were all from the Finley family. However, she did not know that the school had gotten the security system from them too. If Gary was in charge of the school's security system, the person she had engaged with last night was. At that thought, Nicole's face turned dark. If that was really the case, it would explain Gary's absence, she thought. He probably only managed to remove the wall in the morning. If she had known, she would not have set such a difficult one up for him. It was only in the afternoon that Gary finally attended class with dark and heavy bags under his eyes. Although he had slept through the entire morning, he was still yawning away. When Wayne and Jack saw him, they immediately went up to him and bombarded him with questions. "Boss, what happened? Why did you skip class this morning? You did not pick up your phone either." In reply, Gary yawned and said, "I overslept and forgot to apply for leave." Once he had spoken, he rested his body on the table in exhaustion. This prompted Nicole to shoot him a casual glance. Noticing that Nicole was staring at him, Gary began blinking as though he had found something suspicious. Usually, Nicole would ignore him, and so, it would make no sense for her to even glance at him. However, her glimpse was fleeting, for she then turned away about a second later. Noticing this, Gary shook his head and told himself not to think too much about it. But at that moment, Wayne approached Gary, and in a low voice, he said, "Boss, something major happened in the afternoon. Someone had spread a video clip from one of the surveillance footages. It seems that the senior year students had purposely thrown a flower pot from one of the upper floors. Someone even got hit and the video has been leaked." There were leaked footages from a surveillance camera? Gary was stunned. Is it coincidental? The school system was hacked last night and a surveillance footage has been leaked today. I suppose Lucifer had hacked into the system just to get this particular video, he inferred. At that thought, Gary immediately browsed through the school's forum. He wanted to find out who the person who had uploaded the video was, but when he clicked the profile, he only found a ghost account. "I don't care who you are, I must find you." Gary's eyes were filled with rage as he gritted his teeth. That person had caused him to lose an entire night of sleep, and for that he would never let that person off the hook easily. He was determined to discover who Lucifer truly was. With that thought in mind, he stood up and walked into the computer lab. He wanted to use the school's computer to trace the person's IP address. Wayne and Jack heard Gary mumbling and felt that something was off, so they followed after Gary to find out about what had happened. Nicole's gaze turned deep and dark when she saw Gary walking away from her. She could already guess what Gary was about to do. "I'll guess he'll be disappointed again." Indeed, Gary was attempting to track her IP address down after going to the computer room. However, Nicole had erased all traces of her online presence, leaving Gary with nothing at all. As expected, Gary came back with his head bowed, feeling devastated. Everybody in the school then heard that the two girls who had deliberately thrown the flower pot down were given severe punishments before school ended. Nicole decided to leave early because she had something else to do. Meanwhile, Lulu and June were making their way downstairs while Gary, Wayne, and Jack happened to be just behind them. Suddenly, June spoke. "Lulu, I heard the two girls who got severe punishments are from the 12th grade and they're in the same volleyball team as Rain too." "Yeah. I watched the video, and it was probably them who had thrown the pot from the 4th floor yesterday," Lulu said without thinking. "A flower pot? Could it be the flower pot that almost hit you?" June was shocked as she looked at Lulu. It was only then that Lulu remembered everything that had happened yesterday. "Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Nicole saved me." "Yeah, and she was hurt too." Gary frowned after he heard that Nicole had been injured, and instinctively, he hastened his gait. "Did you say that Nicole got hurt yesterday?" Lulu and June fell silent after their conversation had been interrupted. They turned around and were stunned as soon as they saw the three guys. Wayne took a step forward and asked, "Why are you just standing there? Answer him." June paused, while Lulu answered Gary as she thought that he was just worried about Nicole. "Yes. The flower pot fell on her because she tried to save me yesterday after school." Gary's heart sank. He had been very tired, and he did not notice that anything was wrong with Nicole. Then, something came to mind. The surveillance system was hacked last night, and the video of somebody throwing the flower pot down was leaked today. Even though I couldn't track that hacker down, I didn't know that Nicole was the victim. Gary was appalled as soon as he thought about that, and suddenly, he remembered that he had seen the same signature on another object, which was Nicole's book. "Is Nicole Lucifer?" he asked himself as he wobbled a little. Fortunately, Wayne acted in time and grabbed him. "Gary, are you okay?" Wayne looked at Gary with concern as he thought that he was exhausted. Gary shook his head. "I'm fine." He was simply overwhelmed, but he was able to calm down soon after. "That's impossible. No matter how smart Nicole is, she's only 18 years old. How could she be one of the best hackers in the world? Besides, she also said that she only participated in the computing competition because the teacher had no other candidates in mind. She had no plans to be a part of it at all. It can't be. No way, he told himself. Eventually, he regained his composure by forcing himself to think differently. "Okay, that's all I needed to know. I was just curious," he said. Lulu nodded. Then, she grabbed June's arm and was about to leave when she abruptly turned around and said to Gary, "You look very feeble. You should take more supplements." Then, Lulu left the school with June. After a while, Jack realized what Lulu had said. What did she mean? Was she implying that you're weak and impotent? Gary glared at him. "You're the weak one, not me." Jack became very confused after Gary had shouted at him. "Hey, why did you say that about me? Lulu was the one who made fun of you, not me." In response, Gary ignored him and stormed off. Wayne rolled his eyes at Jack. "You're so stupid. That's not what she meant at all." And just like that, Jack was flooded with embarrassment. I guess I misheard." Then, Wayne shook his head in defeat and followed Gary from behind. "Hey guys, wait for me," Jack yelled, after which they left the school noisily. After leaving the school, June looked in the direction of the three and shook her head. They used to be the school bullies, but they've become nothing but stooges now. "Yeah." Lulu laughed. Then, June began laughing at them too. Nicole had left the school before they did because she had received a text from Anna, telling her to make her way to Holder Entertainment. She was not available in the morning, so she proceeded to go there after school, and soon after, she arrived at the headquarters. Nicole lifted her eyebrows upon seeing how huge the building before her eyes was. The Holder family had earned most of their wealth from doing underground businesses. Based on what she knew, the sole purpose for which the Holders had established Holder Entertainment was Lloyd. Nichelle was both the chairman and the director, and Lloyd was both the CEO and the star of the company. Other important roles in the company were held by other members of the Holder family. Thus, the Holders got to make every decision in the company. As soon as Nicole arrived at the reception counter, Anna went to bring her upstairs. Then, she brought Nicole to Lloyd's office. Nicole was a little surprised when she saw Lloyd welcoming her personally. "I only came here to report myself. Shouldn't I be meeting with my colleagues? Why are you here to see me personally?" Lloyd looked at Nicole, trying not to show her how much he missed her, and pretended to be calm. "We've got some updates, so I thought that it'd be better for us to talk in person." Nicole's gaze darkened when she heard what Lloyd had said. "What did you get?" She had been waiting for Lloyd's update for the past few days, and had expected that the news would arrive sooner. Lloyd poured her a cup of coffee and slowly sat down across from her. "It's probably the same group of people who attacked you and stole the Braves away. Even though I don't have enough evidence, rumor has it that they might be brothers," Lloyd explained. "Brothers?" Nicole frowned. There were plenty of secret organizations across the globe, but not many of them were operated by siblings. "Yeah. However, it is off the record, and I don't think anybody out there knows about this." Lloyd's gaze darkened. "These two individuals are very unpredictable. Nicole, are you sure you want to make enemies out of them?" Nicole's eyes darkened. "I'm not trying to be their enemy, but they're a threat to world peace. The Zane organization has got to do something as the international police." Even though she had managed to secure the crest this time, her enemies had gotten their hands on the Braves. The consequences would be unimaginable if the Braves were used with ill intentions. That was why she had to find out where the Braves were and retrieve Carl's possessions. Lloyd took a deep breath, and a look of worry appeared on his face. He did not want Nicole to put herself in danger at all. However, he would do anything he could to fulfill all of Nicole's requests. After all, she had saved him before, and there was really not much that he could do to return the favor. "I understand. I'll help you." Lloyd switched the monitor in his office on to show Nicole some pictures. "If I'm not mistaken, you once helped the Curly Corporation out by dealing with someone by the name of Kara in Lanningborg, right?" he asked. Nicole knew very well what Lloyd was capable of, and he would be able to find out just about anything if he wanted to. Thus, she did not deny it. "Yes, I did. This organization is called the Raven, and I figured that you've already heard of them since you've crossed paths with them." Nicole's gaze darkened. She did not expect that Lloyd would even know about that. The Holder family knows what the international police is up to. They're really something else, she thought. However, they've only sent some lackeys to the Brave Conference. There's a different group of people who are ganging up on Curly now. They're the 4 titans of the Raven. Other than Kara, there is also Era, Bara, and Dara. Nicole squinted. She could even guess that Kara was just one of the many leaders in the Raven. "I guess that your team couldn't find anything about this because all of the cameras along the road were destroyed and the system was corrupted. My men had spent a great deal of effort before we could even get the footage from a car's dashcam. We got these images from them, and they've been enhanced to a higher definition." Nicole looked at the trio's faces, and with a glum expression on her face, she asked, "Are these the other 3 leaders?" "Yes, they are. They had brought the other men and robbed all of the Braves," Lloyd said. Nicole clenched her fists tight. "The Raven deployed all of its members for our Braves. They really do have high expectations of us, huh? Clearly, they have been plotting to acquire the Braves for some time. In addition, they had planned their routes very carefully too. We can't track them at all in the open seas, so we have no idea where the Braves had gone to," Lloyd said, sounding a little disappointed. Nicole did not blame him at all. "You've done a lot. My team couldn't find out exactly where the Braves are either." Then, Lloyd shook his head. "But my men have discovered a little something about them on an island in the open sea, and we even got a geographer to anticipate their route." After that, Lloyd unfolded a map and highlighted 3 routes on it. If they've arrived at this island, and intend to return to Hustruaberg without anybody knowing, their only option is to head to the extrajudicial region. So, these 3 ports would be the best spots for them to disembark, he continued. A look of surprise flashed across Nicole's face. She was not expecting the Holder family to be so powerful and resourceful. They even know so much about the extrajudicial regions, she thought. Then, her gaze darkened as soon as she looked at Lloyd again. Nicole realized that the Holder family was way more capable than she had thought. I'm afraid that Zane would consider the Holders as a threat if he knew about this. However, Nicole was actually impressed by Lloyd because of how much effort he had put in to help her. On the other hand, Lloyd was happy after he noticed the look on Nicole's face, in which she spaced out while staring at him. I can finally get Nicole's attention after so long, he thought. He could not help but to further the discussion about the Raven. He told Nicole that they had been stealing cutting-edge artillery and war weapons before selling them to the mafias and other underground organizations, making themselves an enemy of the international government. How could such a dangerous organization go unnoticed after such a long time? I guess the international police would never find out how big of a threat they are if they didn't catch our attention. Nicole took a deep breath. She had made a big mistake by thinking that only individuals who would shoot and kill were the threat, failing to notice that they were just a bunch of pawns. These people who've been hiding behind the scenes while stirring the pot are the worst criminals, she surmised. What about those people who attacked me? She asked. They were not from the Raven, and Nicole could not figure out who it could be. They're from an organization called the Crow. Rumor has it that the head of this organization is the brother of the founder of the Raven. However, the Crow has never publicly revealed their relationship with the Raven, and I only found out about this after sacrificing the lives of 2 of my informants, he said. Nicole immediately furrowed her brows. She completely did not expect that Lloyd would put in this much effort. Then, she apologetically said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you'd do so much for me. I'll return this favor. Lloyd shook his head and smiled. Consider it returned if you'd just agree to star in this drama. Nicole's heart felt very heavy. How could that ever compare to 2 human lives? There's nothing to be worried about. My informants only did that for the money. They've expected the worst to happen since the day they chose this path, Lloyd gently consoled upon seeing the solemn look on her face. Nicole looked at Lloyd, and could not help but think that she was probably the only person to have seen this ruthless side of him. Then, they chatted for a while more, after which Lloyd said, That's all for now. It won't be safe for my men to validate those 3 locations. I'm afraid that the international police will have to do it personally. In spite of how much he wanted to help Nicole, he knew very well what he ought to do, and what he ought not. Sure. Nicole nodded, for the Holder had already done her a huge favor by giving her so much information. Then, she looked down and transferred a large sum of money to Lloyd with her smartwatch. Lloyd received a notification of that transaction, and he was very shocked to know that Nicole knew his account number. However, he had looked into Nicole's history, and he knew that she was a very competent hacker. Even though it was not surprising that Nicole could do that, he curiously asked her anyway, What's the money for? He was very wealthy, and he was sure that Nicole was not paying him for what he had done. Would you give it to the informant's family as compensation? Nicole asked, wanting to thank them. Lloyd knew Nicole very well, and that she would never feel at ease if he did not agree to help her. Therefore, he nodded. Sure, I'll do that. Okay. Nicole nodded in kind. Lloyd switched the screen off before handing her a USB drive. There are some other information in here for your reference. I hope that they'll be useful for you. Thanks. Nicole grabbed it, preparing to report her findings to Zane. Lloyd said after Nicole packed her things up, Have you read the script? Nicole lifted her brows and smiled. Of course, I even finished it. I memorized a few lines too. Do you want to test me? Lloyd smirked. That won't be necessary. I believe in you, so I've scheduled your first filming session for this Saturday. Is that okay? Nicole smiled after seeing how thoughtful he was. Sure, but I'll probably be coming here a lot less often once my school starts. Lloyd smiled. I believe in you. I've told the stage supervisor to place your part on the weekends, and we can shoot the remaining parts every day after school. Would that be okay? Nicole could not help but lift her brows. The filming progress will probably be delayed because of me if that's the arrangement, don't you think? However, Lloyd looked like he was not bothered at all. It's fine. I'm already very happy that I get to see you every week. He would not mind even if it took longer. Nicole looked down and took a sip of coffee as she was not comfortable with Lloyd staring at her. Then she asked, "I remember the time now, so is there anything else I should know?" It was her first time being involved in activities like these, so she did not know what the procedures were. "Nah. You just have to remember that we share the same manager. Anna will pick you up after school every day," Lloyd explained. "The same manager?" Nicole asked, as suspicions began to flood her mind. After all, Lloyd was an A-list celebrity. His manager is probably a big shot as well. Is he really sharing her with me? "Of course, but Anna is rather harsh with her words," Lloyd added. Nicole figured that it was a good thing, so she responded, "Got it." "Okay." Lloyd nodded, feeling slightly disappointed. He really wanted to spend more time with Nicole, but sadly they barely talked. Then, he got up and said, "Anna will pick you up from your house at 8 p.m. this Saturday. What do you think?" He just could not wait to see Nicole again. "Sure." Nicole nodded. Lloyd smiled with relief. "Let me send you off." Nicole got up. "It's okay. You're busy. I can leave on my own." In response, Lloyd looked at his watch. "It's fine. I'm usually done with work around this time. Do you want to grab something to eat together?" Nicole looked at his sincere gaze and was about to decline his offer when she remembered how much of a help he was to her for the past few days, so she figured that it was only natural for her to treat him to a hearty meal. "Sure, but it's my treat. Deal?" Nicole asked generously. Lloyd knew her character, so he responded, "Of course." He was over the moon. "Nicole is buying me a meal. This is the first time I get to hang out with her without the team around us. But I get to choose the location. After all, I'm a celebrity. It's not really ideal to be in public," he said, flashing her a cheeky smile. Nicole returned the gesture with a gentle smile. "Okay, I don't want to get any unnecessary attention either. Let's go then." Lloyd happily opened the door for her. Nicole walked out gracefully, and Lloyd followed behind her. When they had made their way downstairs, Lloyd drove his Bugatti Veyron over to her, whereupon she got into the car. On the other side, Jared suddenly received a message from Claus. "Sir, Miss Nicole has gone out to have a meal with that A-lister." Jared's face darkened at once. Without even bothering to continue the meeting anymore, he said, "The meeting ends here. You can all go back to work." Max was stunned as he did not know what had happened. But as soon as Jared got up, he bellowed, "Max, get the car ready." "Understood." Max complied and ran to the car. However, he had a bad feeling in his stomach. A storm is coming. Lloyd quickly took Nicole to a private, yet stylish restaurant. Nicole was surprised as she did not expect a restaurant like that to exist in this area. "This place is very suitable for doing trades." Lloyd was stumped as he awkwardly said, Let's head inside." He was slightly worried though, as he had a habit of bringing his important guests here to talk business. Nicole is just too observant. When they had walked into the restaurant, they noticed that it was rather empty. There, Nicole immediately knew that it was not easy to get a table at this restaurant. For that reason, Lloyd proudly brought Nicole over to a table. The waiter came over to hand them the menu thereafter, and Nicole casually took a look at it before asking, "Your family owns this place, right?" If that's not the case, why would everyone be gone as soon as Lloyd is here? She wondered. Lloyd arched his brows, but he did not deny it. "Yeah, you can come as you wish. There is a private room upstairs, but the view here is better." Then, he gestured for Nicole to look out. Though that place was secluded, it was still located at a much higher plane, allowing them to get a view of the sea. They could also see the forest, whose green contrasted beautifully with the ocean's blue. "You have good taste. This is a very good location." Nicole smiled as she already knew that Lloyd was the owner of that restaurant. Hearing that, Lloyd became a little shy. "Really? Well, as long as you like it." Then, Nicole nodded and proceeded to order a few delicious items from the menu, while Lloyd ordered a number of signature dishes as well. "I think you'd like these." Without taking his words to heart, Nicole flashed him a courteous smile. After that, Lloyd looked at Nicole and lamented, "I didn't expect that we could have a chance to eat together like this, without the team." Nicole took a deep breath in. Yeah, me neither. She had never thought that she would be a daughter of the Riddle family, who had a history with the Holder family too. That was why she had never thought that she would meet Lloyd again. This shows that we're fated to meet again. Lloyd stared at Nicole and hearkened back to the training he had gone through and the times in which they went on missions together. Back then, they were still young people who worked with Zane and the adults. Still, Nicole's performance was outstanding, and she had helped him a lot. However, what he did not know was, Nicole was the little girl who had saved him that year. Nicole noted his deep gaze. She did not know what he was thinking, so she did not keep the conversation going. Soon, the waiter served them their food. With style, Lloyd scooped some dishes up for Nicole. "Try some, I like these." Nicole nodded, and that was when she saw a type of cookie. They were in a French restaurant, so that cookie was very out of place, but she found it to be oddly familiar, almost as if she used to eat it when she was younger. When Lloyd saw Nicole locking at the cookie in confusion, he playfully asked, "Familiar, isn't it? You ate this when you were younger, right?" Nicole was shocked. She really did enjoy that cookie when she was younger. However, Nicole had only met Lloyd in the organization, and the cookie was not sold in the foreign country that they were deployed to. Therefore, Lloyd would not be able to know if Nicole liked that cookie. That was when her mind clicked as she asked, "You liked this when you were younger too?" Lloyd paused for a moment before smiling. "Yeah, I loved it. I still love it though, that's why I added it to the menu." Oh. Nicole believed him. But Lloyd seemed sad. She had really forgotten everything, just as I had expected. She was bringing these cookies around with her when Lloyd first met her, and she had given them to him, who had been starving for days. That was why he would always remember the taste of it and would still eat the cookies that she would give him. Unfortunately, she had forgotten it herself. It was as if she had not been eating it for years as well. Though Lloyd was disappointed, he was happy when he saw how satisfied Nicole looked when she ate the cookie. "How is it?" he asked. "Does it still taste the same?" Nicole chuckled. "Yeah, I miss it a lot. It's been a long time since I ate one of these. Take some away with you if you like it." Lloyd smiled sincerely. "Sure." Nicole accepted, as she really did like the cookie. Lloyd stared at Nicole deeply, enjoying the moment that they were sharing. However, it was then that a voice was heard at the entrance of the restaurant. "Sorry, no entry." But Jared's voice was low and cold as he responded, "There's nowhere in San Joto that I cannot enter." Then, Max walked up to them and pushed the security's arm aside. The security detail was stunned, but he would not back down without a fight. So, he retaliated and engaged Max in a fisticuff. Both of their arms began clashing against each other's, with neither of them wanting to give in. Seeing that, Lloyd's gaze darkened at once. That damn Jared sure is fast. Nicole had heard Jared's voice too, so she was shocked when she turned around and saw both Jared's and Max's faces. Why is he here? Then, she remembered that Jared's men had been following her wherever she went, and hence, it was not surprising for them to know her whereabouts. He's such a jealous man. He definitely came here on purpose because he knew I'm here to have a meal with Lloyd, she thought. Nicole's expression soured as soon as she thought of that. However, Lloyd was exceptionally generous. "Mr. Johnston is a VIP. Let him in." After having heard Lloyd from afar, the security detail stepped aside. Jared glanced at the security guards at the entrance. How dare they touch Max? Seems like these two guards aren't just security guards. This is definitely a very private restaurant. Jared refused to believe that Lloyd did not have any other intentions when he took Nicole to a place like this. He walked to their table with pride and looked at Lloyd. "Mr. A-lister Lloyd, why didn't you invite me when you asked my fiancé out for a meal?" It was the first time Lloyd was met with Jared's strong presence. However, he did not seem to care. Instead, he just smiled and replied, "Nicole is my old friend, and we go a long way back. Naturally, it would be really out of place for someone else to join us." He immediately labeled Jared as someone else, which was very courageous of him. Jared's eyes turned icy as he took a seat beside Nicole and wrapped his arm around her shoulder. "Ah, same here. To us, you're someone else as well, Mr. Lloyd." Lloyd's expression darkened. He was dying to push Jared's arm away from Nicole, but he still kept his cool. "Fair enough. If you don't mind, you can order whatever you want, Mr. Johnston." Jared purposely looked around and said, "It's all right, I'll just have whatever my fiancé is having." It was painfully obvious that he was implying that there was nothing on that menu that was deserving of his appetite. Furthermore, by using the word fiancé, he was reminding Lloyd that Nicole belonged to him. Hearing that, Lloyd sneered. "Suit yourself." Jared's gaze darkened when he saw that Lloyd was unaffected by anything he had said. This guy has some tricks up his sleeve. He's not trying to stand against me at all, as if he had already expected this to happen. At that point, all Jared wanted was to take Nicole away from there, so he looked at her. "You probably don't like this place, do you?" He knew Nicole very well, so he knew what she liked to eat. It was obvious that the taste of the food in that restaurant was too intense. She took a deep breath and said, "It's edible. You should eat some too." Then, she stuffed a piece of steak that she had sliced into Jared's mouth to shut him up. However, Lloyd had already heard what she said. "It's edible. That means she doesn't like the food here. It's just edible to her." Lloyd did not look too good at that point, and his expression was solemn. "It's okay. If you don't like the food here, I can take you to other places next time." "No, this is good enough already," Nicole replied, not wanting Lloyd to overthink. Jared scoffed. "Mr. Lloyd, you're not an ordinary person. You can't just take any female friends out for a meal now, can you? Take Nicole out for another meal next time? Over my dead body." Jared seethed. Lloyd responded flatly, "Thank you for your concern, Mr. Johnston. It's true that I can't take my female friends out for meals, but if Nicole doesn't mind, she can eat at my place." Jared scowled as he was not expecting Lloyd to think of taking Nicole back to his place. He has a death wish. Nicole noticed the change in Jared's expression, and was afraid that he would utter something offensive, so she lowered her voice and said, I'll pass on that. I like my mom's cooking, so I don't really fancy eating anything else." Jared felt a great deal better after Nicole had declined Lloyd's offer, so he looked at her and said, "Yeah, Mom makes great food." Nicole immediately rolled her eyes at him. "Who said that I'm sharing my mother with him? This guy is living in his own world." However, this had made Lloyd upset. He did not care about anything. The only thing he cared about was the fact that he had met Nicole a little too late. If he could meet Nicole a little earlier after he had left the organization, he would probably be in Jared's shoes now. He was deeply saddened as he thought about this, for he was the one who had met Nicole first. Then, he smirked and looked at Nicole. "Mr. Johnston, you got to know Nicole after she had returned to the Riddle family, right?" Jared arched his brows, and in a cold and haughty manner he asked, "So what if I did?" Lloyd responded, "I've known Nicole for a very long time. However, I left the organization after some time. You probably won't understand the sort of relationship I have with my comrade Nicole right now." Jared's gaze became even darker as soon as those words reached his ears. What? Is he seriously flaunting the fact that he knew Nicole earlier? He scoffed and looked at Lloyd from the corner of his eye. "Is that so? But Nicole has never mentioned a comrade like you throughout the time I've been with her." Nicole could not help but glare at Jared. This guy. He knew that everything pertaining to the organization is classified, so I would never bring it up for anything. Yet, he's using this to provoke him. But Lloyd was unaffected by that remark. That's just because everything that revolves around the organization is classified. You're an outsider, Mr. Johnston, so it's only natural that Nicole did not tell you. They were going back and forth with each other, so it was impossible for them to eat anymore. With that in mind, Nicole placed her cutlery down and said, "Let the past stay in the past." "Are they done?" Then, the tension in the room diffused. Max and the security guards were also stunned. No one had treated their bosses like that, ever. But this lady has just shut 2 big shots up. I'm really hungry, and I just want to eat in peace. If you're going to argue, I'm not going to eat anymore, she added. All Lloyd wanted was to spend more time with Nicole, so he could only stop arguing. Meanwhile, Jared looked at Nicole, heartbroken. Oh, this girl is hungry. So that was why she's eating here. Sure, eat some for now. I'll take you to eat your favorite restaurant later, Jared said. Nicole glared at Jared, and he immediately kept quiet. Yet, he was not the only one, for it was also then that the restaurant became eerily silent. Jared then ordered something to drink to keep Nicole company, and while Lloyd did not say anything, he was enjoying the opportunity to watch Nicole eat. And finally, once Nicole was done, she tapped on her watch. Though this is your restaurant, I've already said that it's my treat. I've already transferred the money to your account. Lloyd did not expect Nicole to do that. Honestly, it's fine. Well then, I'll make a move now. Nicole flashed them an awkward smile and pulled Jared up. Let's go. I've got to take this jealous bag of bones away, or else, I'll be getting an indigestion, she thought. Sure. Jared said, glad that Nicole was finally leaving. However, before he stood up, he said to Lloyd, Mr. Holder, I suggest you pick somewhere with better lighting if you were to meet someone else next time. A dimly lit place like this will reflect how dark the host's inner heart is. Lloyd's eyes became murderous as soon as he heard what Jared had said. However, Jared was not bothered at all, as he turned around and left the place with Nicole. Lloyd watched them leave with a gloomy look on his face. At that very moment, he actually felt that Jared had actually seen through him. But, how is that possible? I'm the best actor alive, he wondered. Jared proceeded to order Max to drive them to Nicole's favorite restaurant right after they had gotten into the car. She did feel a little better after Jared had done so. Still, she could not help but complain about how ruthless Jared was moments ago. You're starting to get jealous at everything now. Jared lifted his brows. Am I? Indeed, he did not wish to admit it. Yes, you are. Nicole took a deep breath. I know your men are following me, but I don't like to have my privacy invaded. Jared flashed her a grimace as soon as she said that. Is eating with Lloyd a part of your privacy? Nicole shook her head after seeing how unreasonable he was. I only treated him to a meal because I wanted to thank him for giving me this. She handed Jared the USB as she spoke. Is this the information you needed? Jared asked, having guessed what was in there right off the bat. Yes, it is very detailed, and he even anticipated 3 locations that the Braves may be at right now. Nicole's eyes sparkled. However, the international police are being watched closely now. I'm afraid that we'll expose ourselves if we were to conduct a search now. This piqued Jared's interest. So, are you saying that you want my help, wifey? Jared felt very great that Nicole needed his help. Don't flatter yourself. Nicole said, for she would never ask for his help if she had other options. After all, it was a very risky favor that might even get the entirety of the Johnston family involved. It's my pleasure to have the opportunity to help the ever-so-capable Miss Riddle. Jared smiled proudly. Nicole sighed inwardly upon seeing how he had failed to realize the severity of the situation. You've got to think this through. Your family may be involved if we so much as make the slightest mistake. Jared smirked coldly. My family was already involved the moment I went to save you. There were already a lot of people with their eyes on him, but he kept quiet about it because he did not want Nicole to be worried. Nicole thought what Jared said made sense. She knew that she had to annihilate her adversaries if she wanted her family, as well as the Johnston family, to be safe. Well, you can have this then. I've already made a copy when I was in the car just now, she said. Sure. Jared kept the flash drive. Then, he ordered some food for Nicole, hoping that she could have a good meal. As she ate, she decided to ask him about the Fishers. It was you who did that to Fiorella, right? Jared knew that she was going to ask him about, and that it was just a matter of time before she did. However, he did not answer her question directly, She deserves it after doing something that she's not supposed to. Nicole lifted her brows. What is it? Jared was not someone who would do something so brutal to an innocent person. Hence, Nicole wanted to know what Fiorella had done. Jared stared at Nicole, and the expression on his face turned solemn as he thought about the day when he almost lost her. I found the person who made you fall off that bridge. It was her, he replied.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.